applied last week at the same time as another Canadian citizen and in front of another witness, because this is something that I'm constantly experiencing as an Arab Canadian. And my friend got called back right away, and you had all these positions, no problem, exact same time, exact same date. You talked about the date. The date between my application and my friend's application are exactly the same. You're making all these conclusions without even investigating or asking for the date that I applied, which is why I know you're engaging in a cover-up. I want to work on elections day like my friend that applied on the same day. I require your office to respect my right under the charter to be free from discrimination and to access equal opportunity, which requires you to tell me why I wasn't called on the day that I actually applied the first time. I have to know. Give me an action. Okay. Don't tell me I understand, don't understand. The reality is there were jobs because my friend got applied. Can I finish, please?
Answer?
Well, that's the thing. You're not even letting me speak. You're going into defensive mode. The reality is my friend applied on the same day that I did. You're using the date to discriminate against me as some sort of reason not to call me. She applied on the exact same date and she got a call back the next day. I had to apply twice and I had to remove that I speak Arabic for you to call me and tell me to go on standby. Even if the positions were completely filled, complètement rempli, all done, it doesn't mean that you don't need people on standby. You could have still called me within 24 hours like you called her and told me, hey, all the positions are filled up. We'd like people on standby. I had to apply again and hide who I am in order to get a call from you. And then you're speaking over me.
You feel that
I don't feel that way. Again, this is not my feelings. This is verifiable. I took a screenshot of my form without my language in it, and then you called me back. This call is not my imagination. It's not my feelings. It's an actual call. I'm recording you because there's a comfort with fraud in the public interest. This is an example of it. You can't even investigate what happened because you don't want to, because I don't have the right to be treated as an equal Canadian by Elections Canada in Ontario. The same thing.
What investigation are you hoping to get?
Very simple. Pull up my file, the first one that I applied, and investigate who opened it and why they didn't call me the way that they called other people that applied on the same day.
Okay.
Very simple.
I have actually already done this investigation, and I was told.
Okay, can you please send it to me then?
Please let me speak.
Yeah.
I found out. You can correct me if I'm wrong. What I was told was that your earlier application was February 19th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just give it one paragraph here. We have far too many applications. We are trying to go through our applications as fast as we can, but at the end of the day, there will be a line drawn, and everybody above that line got the call, and everybody below the line didn't get the call. And very unfortunately for everybody, the line was drawn between your friend and you. It has nothing to do with the extra languages that you speak. But that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
You're saying that it's about applying on February 19th.
I asked you to let me get a paragraph out. I asked you to let me get a paragraph out.
Again, you keep on talking about the date being an issue, but my friend applied on February 19th with me, but she got a call back and I didn't. So you need to address that. You keep on saying it's the date that was an issue for you, but that date was the 19th. I'm calling you today on the 25th. This is literally an entire week. So you're suggesting that if a non-Arabic speaking person applies on February 19th, they get a call back in 24 hours or less. But if an Arabic speaking person calls on February 19th, they're not. You're still engaging in discrimination because the date is exactly the same. I'm not the only person who applied on February 19th, but on a balance of probabilities, I'm probably the only one that disclosed that I speak Arabic.
Oh, absolutely. You are not the only person who applied on February 19th that we did not have time to call.
Yeah, but you called my friend who applied at the same time though, right?
There are plenty of other people on February 19th, even those who did not speak Arabic, I'm quite sure, and I can go and get the counts of how many there were that did not get a call back because we have so many applications.
So how are you then engaging in respecting the Charter of Rights and Freedoms by not engaging in an equal opportunity recruitment process for these jobs as a representative of the Canadian government?
Okay, so firstly, we work for the province of Ontario.
It's still the Canadian government. It's still Canadian. It's not a foreign enterprise. I'm an Ontarian. I'm a Canadian citizen.
It's the provincial government.
It's still the government. It's still the government, right? They're still held accountable under federal laws, which include the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The Queen is still the Queen if you're an Ontarian or if you live in Quebec. So with all due respect, this is not a plausible argument. I am asking you to tell me why somebody who applied at the exact same time that I did, in the exact same place, like GPS location, same IP address, okay, that did not disclose that she speaks Arabic, got called back the next day, but I didn't. To suggest that we're not in the same queue or that there's some randomness at play here doesn't make any sense. If there was a random process, it would be randomly generated. There would be no claims to first come, first serve, like I have what you're advertising. If you are not doing it first come, first serve, why are you telling the Canadian public that you are? Still used first come, first serve in our conversation. Like I can send this to you.
First come,
like,
first serve, but we switched to last in, first out. I thought I had made that clear.
Okay, so again, you denied that it was ever first come, first serve, and now you clarified that it was first come, first serve, and then you swapped to last in, last out, which both of them are contradictory to each other, and neither of which you've actually publicly disclosed, which is, again, your responsibility as a government office, right? So you just said that you swapped.
I'm sorry, what is our responsibility for explaining our hiring process?
Absolutely, yes, because, yes, absolutely, because you're a Canadian government. You're not a private enterprise. And even if you are a private enterprise, you are not exempt from the Ontario Human Rights Code or the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
I understand and agree.
Okay, so that being said, it doesn't change the fact that you've made a lot of contradictory statements during this call, which I'm recording, okay? So I have to record it because you guys are very good at targeting people like me and accusing us of things that we didn't do. And again, I say them as in the government.
That you feel that way.
It's not my feeling. I can open up again.
Very clear, we are not.
Why are you so heated? Like, you still get paid at the end of the day. I'm the one that's not hired right now, right?
I have tried to explain to you
that I'm supposed to be a lesser Canadian, right?
Does not even show us the information that you think we're discriminating on you against when we select the individual to call.
That's not what Kayla said.
If the information isn't on the screen, it can't be used as a criteria. Yes, we ask for that question because then we can serve our voters better, because we like it when we have people who can speak other languages.
Okay, so then why are you telling me that it's an asset to speak more languages if you can't access who speaks more languages? Like how could it be an asset if you can't see that information?
Because after we finish the hiring process, we let the supervisors of the polls know what additional languages are available.
So you're basically collecting information on people for other purposes than the hiring process itself, and you're not even documenting this publicly.
No, we collect it for serving the electors, so that we tell the supervisors that we have these other staff who are able to serve people in these other languages, and that way when the supervisor gets somebody who speaks a different language, instead of trying to contact headquarters for an interpreter, they have somebody on site who can speak the extra language. That's why we collect the information.
You think that makes sense when you're saying you're collecting the information, but you're only going to look at it after you hire, and you think that this is going to fly? Like when I post this on my personal Facebook, you think people are going to believe you? Because again, it doesn't address the fact.
I have no idea what people choose.
Again, it's not about believing or not believing. It's about common sense, okay? It's about common sense. I documented that you didn't call me as elections candidate, not you personally. I have nothing personal against you. I'm just talking to you as a representative of the Ontario government right now that works for elections Canada. This is not personal for me whatsoever. I don't know you. I've never met you. I don't know what you look like. You don't know what I look like. The problem here is that you guys are making decisions about who I am and my suitability to participate fully as an equal Canadian citizen based on the languages I'm disclosing, because that's the only difference between my application on February 19th and my application last night.
I understand that you feel the only difference.
Again, this is not, again, it doesn't change.
I have tried to explain to you repeatedly that the application date also
belittling
made a difference,
me,
because we have found that the people who applied more recently are usually more eager to work.
And how do you determine that? Are you a psychic? Do you have any survey data that confirms this?
We track how many people say that they can work, and sure, for you might believe that because you put in the application that
so you're suggesting that I am not interested in working if I applied right away, but somebody who applied last minute is more interested in working. That's what you're saying.
Please let me finish.
Okay.
When we start our hiring, we track how successful we are when we phone people to say, are you available to work? And when we were finding that some percentage of the people were no longer available, we switched to go for the more recent applications. And unfortunately, that happened to me, that your older application fell off the plate. We have so many applications, we do not have time to call everybody.
Well, then you should not be hired. If you don't know how to do your job, why are you doing it? Like, for you to suggest that,
to fill the available
again, if you cannot process applications in a fair way in compliance with the Ontario Human Rights Code and the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, why the heck are you being paid to do that job? And if you were able to call my friend who applied at the exact same time on the exact same date, you cannot use the date to discriminate as a viable reason to not call me. The decision not to call me is predicated on what's different between my application now from last night and February 19th. The fact that you know that I applied on February 19th but chose not to call me and made assumptions about me not being available, and then I applied again, all of a sudden I got a call back, but the only difference is my language, does raise these issues. The fact that you're not even, that you're belittling it like I'm stupid or that I don't understand what's happening here is another problem. The other problem is that I'm literally recording the call because I'm telling you that I've been in databases of the Canadian government for over 6 years, never got a call back. And you're literally telling me that you cannot process job applications, but you're hired to process job applications that you don't have the skills to process. I have ideas on how to do that and be fair about it. I have these competencies. Why are they hiring you and not me, for example? Because you're white and I'm not. We're both females.
Well,
if
that's
I
a very
am
interesting
again,
assumption on your
okay,
part.
so if I apply to Elections Canada to work in your call center because I'm racialized, I'm not allowed to get any other job, am I not going to be completely ignored and then they're not going to assume that I don't speak French and a bunch of other things? Of course they will. Because if they didn't, I would have already applied. The reality is that you guys make things up when it comes to the human resources recruitment because you can, because there's no oversight, because you have the privilege to screw people over, because you have the privilege to belittle people like me and to remove me from representing my demographic as fully participating in Canadian society. My parents immigrated to Canada, not me. I inherited citizenship and I am treated like I'm an alien. And I'm telling you, I'm making these calls and I'm tracking everything because I am loyal to this country. And I want to know why this country hires people like you to be mad at me for wanting to participate in the Canadian government because I'm a Canadian citizen. Making up random excuses about how the date is a problem and how like people who applied earlier should be disregarded because of some opinion you hold about their availability is a form of discrimination. Like, where do you come up with that?
Can you explain to me why choosing to hire more recent applicants is a form of discrimination? I don't understand.
Because you are not following the same equal opportunity recruitment process. You have to treat everybody the same. So if you're treating people differently, you're engaging in discrimination, right?
And how hiring more recent is treating
because you are disqualifying everybody that applied beforehand and changing the rules on them while they think they are waiting to be called when you want them to reapply. Unequal treatment is how you define discrimination. Discrimination is unequal treatment. If you are treating people who applied before or by February 19th differently from people that applied after February 19th, like me, you're engaging in unequal treatment. Using a different set of rules.
Which part of the Human Rights Code says that application date is...
Well, because you have to afford everybody dignity. And you cannot afford everybody dignity if you treat them differently. If you're dehumanizing people and totally disregarding the fact that they applied because of the date that they applied on and not even disclosing that so they can't even reapply, when you're clearly advertising first come, first serve, and now you've swapped it without advertising that it's last come, first served, this is discrimination.
Can you tell me where you saw it advertised that we're doing first in, first
You literally just told me a million times on this phone, not a million times.
Where did you see that advertised? Because I tried to explain to you that we use our discretion for how we do.
But that's the thing. What do you mean by discretion?
You said it was advertised somewhere. So please tell me where it was advertised.
I received posts. That's how I applied. That clearly say that this is a first come, first served type of opportunity. In other words, you don't need to file a resume. All you have to do is be a Canadian citizen and over 18. That's it.
Yeah, so I want to get the exact details of where you saw that it was first in, first out.
You just literally told me on this call a million times it was first come, first serve until you changed it. So now you're telling, so like this is exactly what I'm talking about.
You said it was advertised